What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Unplugged Nation podcast. Also available on Spotify, I believe. Maybe. Not sure. But today I have a special guest with me, my brother from another mother, Spencer Joyce. Let's give a round of applause. I wish I had the soundboard where I could do the applause. Like, yay! Woo!
Woo! No need for
Man.
applause. I'm just a normal person.
No, man. Guys, as the title suggests, we're going to be talking about being a YouTuber. What we think it takes, or what we think it means. What it. I mean,
Specifically in the niche of reactors on YouTube.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
other niches we can't really talk about too
No,
much. This is just specifically reactions and
yeah,
building a channel that way.
yeah. I feel like it's like this weird, mysterious thing that you either completely know or you have absolutely no idea.
Yeah.
And with a multitude of reactors out there, not just in, let's say, our niche, our American reacts niche, or American reaction to things that are over across the pond, just reactors in general. I think there's a lot of misconceptions on what it is to be on this side of YouTube, on the
Yeah.
other side of the screen. you
Yeah.
know um First and foremost, I'm so grateful to have this kind of platform, because it opens up so many different possibilities. It opens up so many doors, and I'm very, very appreciative of the role YouTube has played in our lives and watching our channel grow on Embrace the Suck 21.
Oh yeah.
And that's something that I'm very grateful for. I feel like I knock YouTube a lot, but at the same time, I'm very appreciative
You know,
because I just feel like it has opened the possibility of me spending more time at home with my family, and
mm-hmm.
for that I give it a lot of credit.
And it can open a lot of doors, and the point is, first you got to get there, and that's what
Yeah.
we're talking about today.
Yes.
There are several parts to it, and there's from like actually recording the video, making the reaction video, what niche you want to start with or have your channel be based off of, and also just handling comments and handling your
Yeah.
community. Those are a few components of it. I may think of a couple others, but those are
Yeah.
the ones I can think of off the top of my head.
And I feel like we won't get into the nitty-gritty of like analytics and the technical aspect of it. It's just, what it takes. What it takes. I feel like when we well our let's tell everyone, because we, at least on this channel, Arias in the Nation, we've gotten an influx of people recently,
Mm-hmm.
that are there for the music reactions, and they
Right.
may or may not know where I come from, as far as being part of Embrace the Suck 21. um and I feel like I feel like to the whole reason we got on YouTube, our journey, right, was to
Mm-hmm.
document our fitness. And this is not the retelling of history, guys. I'm just gonna nutshell this real quick. Elevator. We started a channel to document our fitness towards a I guess obstacle course,
The Tough
competition, a
Mudder.
Tough Mudder. And along the way, we stumbled upon reactions. My wife asked us to react to how they make churros at Taco Bell, and
Yeah,
then
the cinnamon
on
twists.
the cinnamon twists, and then on top of that, then you're like, "Hey, man, do you know of this band Oasis?" And from there, it was born, and
Absolutely.
we
That's
and we. So I feel like our introduction to YouTube hasn't been your average run of the mill start as a reaction channel
right.
at
We
all.
we we didn't start wanting to grow a almost 100K subscriber YouTube channel.
No.
We just fell backwards into it.
Yeah, so the fact that, oh, we're doing this way, like, no, we just wanted to hold each other accountable in the eyes of the public, you know
Yeah.
and that's really where it stemmed from. So then we started to react to all these different things, and it opened a whole different world of like reality as far as the YouTube side of it.
Yeah.
I didn't know. You do a lot of you do all of the heavy lifting on YouTube, man. From Race
Mm.
Suck 21, man. Like, dude, I mean, the time you invest in just editing things down, um, to just see the light of day on YouTube, because I feel like we're jumping all over the place, but I'm going to try to get back on
Yes.
a train of thought very soon.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Why don't you leave that
the
part to me? Like, what
Yeah,
do we want to discuss
I'll leave that.
first, and then
I feel
we'll
like
go into that.
why what is the biggest hurdle getting to just hit start channel, record video, right there, right in that moment, right before you record your first video to put on YouTube?
The biggest hurdle is yourself.
Yep.
Uh, don't worry about your first video being great.
Yeah.
Don't worry about your first 100 videos being great. Get and this is just the advice of almost every successful person on YouTube, the Mr. Beast, the PewDiePies, the Mark Robers, those people is, get 1% better every single day, whether it be an editing technique, a better use it to invest in a better camera or a better microphone, things like that.
Yep.
Just try and get 1% better every single day. My visual uh what do you call it? The metaphor I use is like turning on a spigot of water, like a water drain, and that hasn't been opened for a long time. At first, a lot of dirty water is going to come out of that thing, but eventually, you let it run a little bit, clean water is going to come out of that thing, which is a metaphor for anything in life,
Oh yeah.
including making YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Is you know keep working at it. Eventually, clean water will come out of
Yep.
that head of yours.
I feel like for me the biggest thing was finding my voice, like finding how to you have more of a history in being in front of the people, being in front of people. You're an artist, you're a musician, you busk, you know how to be in front of people,
Mm.
and that was a hurdle that I had to learn,
I
you
mean, look, it
know.
always wasn't always like that. I mean,
No,
I
that's
always
true.
had a bit of stage fright getting started with it. Hell, even in the beginning of ETS, uh, I was a bit self-conscious about all the stuff we put out. Like, oh, are we talking a little too much? Is the volume balanced on it? But we just
Yeah.
kept trying to get
Yep.
1% better every single time.
It's not about being perfect. It's not about
No,
being perfect. I feel like you go back to all of our first videos, not just on Embrace the Suck, but on my channel personally. We've come leaps and bounds,
yeah,
but we still release the videos. We still got ourselves in front of the camera. That's the hardest thing, is getting in front of the camera and
yeah.
talking.
And I will
Um,
give you credit. You have come a long way in terms of, being comfortable in front of a camera. I remember the early days of ETS. Like the fact that you were just, it was good that you had me to kind of bounce off of because, just talking in front of a camera, you
yeah.
definitely weren't comfortable with it at first, but you've come leaps and bounds
Hey man,
since then. I
thanks.
want to give you credit for that.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
It was just weird because I'm not of the generation. I feel like I'm before it, right? So addressing an audience that will eventually be there, but in the moment is not there. I mean, anyone looking from the outside in would think I'm insane speaking to no one in this room. It's just weird. It's just a weird thing. I had to hurdle over that eventually,
Yeah. I mean,
and
I wouldn't even say it's a generation thing. Like me personally, my background of it in high school, I did our school's morning announcement program. It was a more upper class suburban high
yeah,
school that had the budget for like a televised morning announcements thing, and I knew how to read off of a teleprompter, how to speak in front of a camera, how to keep dead air from being in a video. And of course, I was in my high school's choir program, in their theater program. So getting up and performing in front of people like that, that's
Yeah.
natural to me, and I can understand why for someone like you that doesn't have that kind of background, that would be a hurdle to come over to overcome. Like
Yeah.
I was already there, and you just needed to get there.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I feel like the first hurdle for any person that wants to start something like this, um, one, I feel like the requirements are be comfortable in your own skin. To
Yeah,
know and understand that it's not going to be perfect. It doesn't need to be perfect. Um, and just the thick skin though. That's remember that. That's
yeah,
huge.
yeah.
That's
It's
don't take yourself
because
too seriously at all.
no,
Ever.
no, no.
Ever.
The internet has allowed everybody to say anything whenever.
Yeah.
And just because you can doesn't mean you should, but that doesn't stop a lot of people from doing so.
Very
And
true.
you, you can't really take it too personally because I found a lot of times they're projecting something of their own life that is not going well. Like
Yeah.
I I I personally I don't mind calling them out. Like, "Oh, I'm sorry your mommy didn't uh
Yeah.
uh make sure your chicken nuggets weren't burnt," or "I'm
It's not
sorry
our
that girl
fault.
didn't text you back."
Yeah, it's
Things
not our
like
fault.
that. It's not our
I
fault,
just
but
I mean it is what it is. I mean I think we put our we try to always put our best foot out there. Um but at the same time it's not a science. Like we're not trying to be polished and overproduced, you know?
right,
It's
right.
there's a lot of a raw element to it. Hence
Yeah.
our niche reaction. A lot
Right,
of
right.
there's a lot of things that I watch back on our Embrace the Suck journey, and also on my current journey with Nightwish and these different types of bands. Now it's like I wish there were different things I could have said, and that people in the comments have reiterated how I like what I wanted to say in that time. And it's just like it's right off the cuff. Like it's kind of you're busy absorbing something as well as
Mhm.
giving input, so the thoughts aren't really as processed as they should be.
Right, and that's I don't really think too much about that. I mean, obviously there's things I wanted to say in all the other
Yeah.
videos of ETS, but at the same time, it's a reaction video. You what what comes to the surface isn't always going to make it out while the camera is on.
This is true.
And
True. Yeah.
and
And a lot of times what I love is being humbled by letting it, like you say, like let it cook, because there's times where I want to say something and that something is rendered void or reaffirmed the later we let it cook.
yeah.
Like, okay, thank God I didn't put my foot in my mouth if I just let this moment breathe some.
Yeah, and that's that's something you learn just doing this a while.
Yeah.
This most times people won't learn that until like much later on. Like
Yeah.
at first, like a couple of examples of it is when we did the football chants, the Jimmy Savile
Oh,
thing.
shit.
We and then again we just let the video play. We thought it was a football player. We didn't
Yeah.
know he was who he was, who we won't
Yeah.
talk about here. But
Nope.
we didn't know.
Yeah, we
Uh,
didn't know.
but that's the stuff that makes for a great reaction. Like that is sometimes not knowing, and they've gotten criticism sometimes of like, why don't you research these things? I'm like, because it would
Well,
ruin the reaction.
yeah, and there are things like in my current journey, there's going to be one thing I will have to research some before I dive into it, just to pay the respect due to what I'm going to be reacting to. And but that's a needle in a haystack though.
Yeah,
That's usually I'm not pulling up Google to react to something, because then that takes away from I'm because what it does is then it gives you a false sense of I know what I'm talking about.
right.
And that's not the case. Like that shit is just still on my recent search history, and like
Mm-hmm.
it's not stored up here. I'm just regurgitating what I'm seeing. I'm not
Right. Right.
understanding what I'm seeing. And that's
Right.
two
Right.
different things. And
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's another thing that people, I would say, in our niche, in our genre, like Not saying the our co what is it? People on our platform with us, our friends in the
Yeah.
American Reacts and the Reacts community do this at all. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not ever going to throw shade at our family. That's I consider the American Reacts our family. Like we know everyone in there pretty much.
Yeah.
And but it's it's tough. It's a tough game because I got thrown off. I'm trying to get back on the track, Spence. Help me out. You know,
Yeah.
I talk too much for too long.
Mm.
Um, if you're going to, yeah, I don't know where I was. So
I don't know.
I was going to go somewhere amazing. Trying to tell people that maybe want to pull the trigger on YouTube to do it. Um, the and especially from the point of view of a reactor is it's a big task and it's a lot of on the job training,
Yeah. Yeah.
if to say the least.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. It's a lot of on the job training, and you don't know what you did wrong until afterwards.
until afterwards. Until
Yeah. Yeah.
afterwards.
Hmm.
And but
But that's
but
okay.
that's
It's
yeah.
okay that
Yep.
you don't know everything at the beginning. Just get out there, get 1% better at everything. I've reiterated that a
Yeah.
lot of times,
Well,
but
and this is the point. Guys, remember that sometimes the negative engagement is still engagement.
right.
So know it as that as well. Don't be
It's like
afraid of that.
all news, all press is good press.
Yes, pretty
And
much.
it's sometimes you got to be a little bit of controversial. Like today, as we're recording this, we put out a documentary on Jeremy Clarkson. Like he's a
Yeah,
very polarizing figure,
I think
but
so.
it'll get people talking.
Yeah, it's just you have to. What I so my buddy Ambler, he just released his first video. He just uploaded a channel. He just went live, right?
Cool.
And
Yeah.
I told him like, hey man, you just got to do it, because he's had this idea of being on YouTube ever since that guy 24/7 doing something like that.
Oh
But it's
yeah.
like, you are always talking about doing it, but you never do it. The best way to become a YouTube is to
Just
do
do
it.
it.
Just do it. It's if not, you'll be talking about it your whole life and never doing anything.
Right.
You
Talking and
know.
doing are two completely different things.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
And
So I,
um.
I think we've
Oh, sorry.
covered the starting part
Hmm.
enough here. I think it's time to move on to another point.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm
Um,
with that.
I think the
The
next point I want to cover is picking a niche. Um, and I the what makes American React what it is us reacting to like NFL fan reacts to soccer chants, or NASCAR fan reacts to Formula One, or Alaman TT, or country music fan reacts to Oasis or Arctic
and
Monkeys.
and we have
It's
all those titles on our channel,
yeah.
all of them. Yeah.
Yeah, and what it is, it's a remix strategy or a unique selling point. Like, say if you were a British person or Australian person starting a reaction channel, I would say look at NASCAR clips or NFL football,
It's
or I don't know, Tyler Childers and like Garth Brooks, things
it's
like that. Stuff that is the opposite of what it is you are. Like a lot of black
yeah.
reactors will look at like country music
Yeah.
or white comedians, things like that. No,
I
it's that's the thing of that makes the niche of a reactor pop off. Is just something completely different than what you are.
Yeah, I feel like it is the Cliff Notes version of what to expect, and it kind of gives you where you're coming from as who you're seeing, and what they're looking at. It's like the Cliff Notes version of a journey of discovery, knowing that the person that you're looking at knows nothing about what he's about to look at,
Yeah,
hence reaction, and that
yeah,
gives you a kind of a genre or a sub description of what it is, you
right.
know, like, but I feel like there's a lot of uh I feel like that's abused a lot, you know,
It
and
it can be. There are
it's
certain bad actors, and won't
yeah,
name them, but
no,
for the most part, that's a unique selling point is what gets people to click,
yeah,
and seeing it from a different perspective, like
Yeah.
seeing
And
seeing stuff from something that's of something you like, that is something that would from someone that may not ever have heard of something like
yes,
this.
yes.
That's what many of the great reaction videos
Yeah.
are.
Yeah, not necessary, not pandering is key.
No,
Make it
no.
actually a journey of discovery. Make it actually a thing of value, not an empty playing to the numbers kind of thing. Like, look, I'm generally interested in my journey on this channel, of looking at this band Nightwish. I'm actually into the music, into the ambiance of what the band has to offer. If
Yeah,
I didn't enjoy it, that would be dead, because people aren't dumb. People
right.
aren't stupid. They can
Yeah,
tell. They can tell if you've seen something once before,
right,
and
right.
they'll be quick to hold a fire to you. They'll be
Yeah,
quick, and that's something where I feel like if you're going to get into, let's say, if you're doing a journey for self, like you're educating yourself and you're putting that on YouTube, that's a great way to do it. Like, hey, I know nothing about this. I'm going to learn about it. But now I'm going to learn about it on YouTube. Hell
yeah,
yes. That is
yeah.
a valid journey.
100%. And you just want to bring everybody in with you, and get the perspective of the outside world, and
Yep.
help you clarify a few points, and
Be-
that's part of what we do on ETS 21.
yep. It's everyone else combined has a lot more knowledge than you will ever try to learn.
Yeah,
So the comments is how we have gotten to where we are, how we've learned so much. At least that's how we've added that extra layer that we would normally never have known about if we just tried to absorb things without the input of subscribers. you
right,
know
right. Not
and
just
that's, yeah, not just yeah, I think I'm more appreciative because of the comment section. Like,
yeah,
okay, I can take this in, I can absorb it, and that's another thing. If you're going to pull the trigger and become a YouTuber, I hate saying that, but being on this platform, read the comments and engage in the comments as much as possible. I mean, you can. I say, don't waste time with the negative. Don't waste time with the negative. But there are positive comments. There are constructive criticism comments.
yeah,
That is huge. That is huge, because at least for this channel, I've leaned heavily. My first thing is when I go live or something like that, I'm like, can you hear me? Can you see me? Like, we'll start from there. We'll start with a very basic quality check. Am I
yeah,
laggy? Stuff like that. They're
yeah,
they're they are plugged into you. They're taking their time, which none of us have an infinite amount of, and spending it with you, and be appreciative of their time watching your content. You
yeah. and
know?
and and live streams are a part of this, but we'll get to that a
Oh
little
yeah,
bit later.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I feel like live streams are like this big, and the story that is this big.
right, right, right. But we'll save that for another section.
Oh
but
yeah.
but yeah, the attitude of picking a niche and involving your community with it, yeah, all valid points right there.
Yep. And if I would say this, I would also in I would say this to anyone that wants to do it. If you are doing this journey for the money, you are going to be sorely disappointed.
Oh yeah,
You
100%.
are going to be let the F down.
Yeah,
Um
and that'll lead to the next point that I'm gonna want to touch on for anybody wanting to get into this is copyright.
oh,
And
yeah.
yeah, some some videos will get copyright claimed, like when we do a lot of TV shows
Yes.
and like of older music, that always gets copyright claimed. There's ways to dispute that, but um most of the time, if you're doing reaction channel, most of the times you're doing copyrighted content,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's and if you can dispute it and get the money from that, it's great. Arguing fair use, but there's many other people that can explain that a lot better than I can.
Yeah.
It's great, but most of the time you may not make money
Yeah.
from a lot of
It,
videos.
but it is, it is what it is. Like, the artists get their due. Okay, I feel like in a fair world, that's how it is. Um but the fact that there are times where the whole thing gets blocked, you can't see it. You can't see the video, copyright claimed, everything, just blocked outright. Um, the tip is do this journey, jump on this journey for your own sake, for your
Right.
own building yourself up as an individual, like learning in front of the public, learning, bettering yourself in whatever way you're doing it, absorbing outside cultures, absorbing knowledge, making yourself a more
Enriched individual.
yeah, enriched individual. Good. I was going to say something about dimensional, but no, enriched individual is the way to go. But
Yeah.
yeah, because if you're doing this for the money, it's not going to work. Because, but I mean, as a branch off of Embrace the Suck 21, and you as Spencer Joyce Music, we're both have the I guess the fortune of being monetized on our own in our own respects.
Oh yeah.
That doesn't mean nothing. That doesn't mean anything. That just means you have the potential to possibly make some money, and
Right.
that's
Right.
but
Well,
not banked on.
yeah. I feel like we're gonna get a lot of questions of like what is able to make money through reacting to it, and I would say it's usually stuff that is not on official channels, like official soccer channels, official
Yeah,
F1 channels, official sports channels, official music channels. Those usually are not
yeah,
monetizable, and even if you dispute them, they usually say that their claim is still valid.
yeah,
But I would go with like non-official channels, and usually documentaries are not copyright claimable. So
yeah, yeah.
those
Well, because
usually
they're in the
do
public
better.
domain, right? They're in like the
Right, public
public domain kind of
public
thing.
domain. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
and the ones let me just add this: the ones that are on the non-official channels, those are like the Wild West, dude, of audio
yeah.
levels. Those are you are not. It is not
Yeah,
polished.
we'll get to that in a second. We'll get to that in a
Yeah.
second.
Well, maybe,
But
maybe not. Like
yeah,
I
well,
don't know.
but that's a whole other part.
Yep.
But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is um yeah, it's usually music, uh TV shows from like major networks like BBC. We've run into troubles with that.
Yep.
Uh and official channels. Usually there's no money to be made from them, but don't let that deter you from doing it from those
Yeah.
channels, because the whole point is to enrich yourself.
Yep. That's it. You do it for yourself more so than for others.
Yeah,
The others that are watching and viewing help you along the way, and
100%.
that's kind of where the path is. And remember, like you're not. I feel like it's easy to fall into the trap of getting, let's say, big headed, egotistical.
Yeah,
But don't remember, just we're all in this together, man. It's the YouTube community, man. It's a community.
yeah,
Each channel, each page, each person enriches the community that we're building here.
yeah,
Um, and yeah, everyone has been shocked that I feel like we can collaborate and be on good terms with everyone else, and it's just like that's just who we are, man. That's just who we
yeah.
are. I feel like we exude that teamwork, the team building, the community ethos of this platform.
Mm-hmm.
And YouTube is a massive place,
Yeah,
massive place.
the YouTube pie is big enough for everybody, so
Yes.
there's no need to be competing. There's no need to be um holding back secrets.
Yeah,
Like we're all
or burning bridges.
yeah,
Yeah, no, like I said, we're out here just being we have the fortune of being best friends in real life.
right, right.
That's
That's something that I guess helps our channel play well. And I guess it's just a little bit real quick that I'll touch on is if you're don't don't try and fake your personality. Don't try
yeah.
and fake being over the top. You don't have to be over the top. I just happen to be that way.
Yeah.
Sometimes I mean most of the times I'm quite introverted, and I don't really do much outside of it. I don't thrive off of social interaction, but I whatever comes out, just let it cook naturally. If you're a more over the top person, more extroverted, then let that play out, you
Yep.
know?
I feel like finding your voice out here on this platform is the hardest part of all of it. All of it.
Yeah.
Having a niche, having a thing is a massive win. Because I know I struggle with that in this on this channel. This was more of a how to DIY, just a personality channel. It's turned into a show basically.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's the Arias in the Nation show. there, we also have reactions, but it's like an Arias in the Nation show. We're there for the lives, the community, building the community
Right.
up. Um,
Right. And I guess now's the time to touch on the extras of things that are outside of the regular reaction videos. And
yep.
this will be, shorts, lives, and other channels.
Yeah.
And shorts, like I would treat shorts like as just extra bonus content, like maybe behind the scenes things. Like for instance on ETS 21 when uh I revealed to Daniel that I'd never seen the Metallica Enter
Oh
Sandman
man,
1991 thing. He just lost his shit,
that
and
blew
I
my
had to
mind.
catch it on video, and that's one of our best doing shorts.
Just yeah, yeah. It all adds. It all adds to experience. Like, invest in your channel, guys. If you're gonna start a YouTube channel, invest in your channel. Make it a all encompassing thing. Make sure you
Yeah,
add the mistakes. Make sure you add the bloopers. Make sure it's just a way to engage. It fills out who you are on the let don't let people in on who you are. Not you're just I'm here. I'm reacting. And that is
yeah.
it, and that is the end. There's no depth to who you are.
Right. And that's the perfect thing for shorts, or maybe to preview something that's coming
Yep.
up. And also the community tab. I mean, that could be hit or miss. It's
Oh my
just
god.
some people don't ever see them, but that again, that's the YouTube algorithm putting a video in front of them to a new person. So
Yep. I,
it's
I
still an
almost
effective tool.
I almost want to make a video for my community tab. Like, instead of posting stuff on the community tab, I might as well just talk about it for 2 minutes
Hmm.
and then post it as a video. You know what I mean? Like my community tab video. That's kind of what it gets seen more than the community
Hmm.
tab. And that's just another thing is engage your community, engage the people that actually gave a shit and hopped along the ride.
Yeah,
That's huge.
and that's going to lead to my next point, and I know you've been wanting to talk about this like the whole podcast is lives. And
Oh, yeah.
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 But lives are like, don't use them just to blow off steam or complain about stuff. Talk to your people.
Yep.
You know, the reason we started doing fireside chats, and we haven't done them in quite some time,
Whew.
and that's just
No.
because we've been busy. The reason we did them is because there a lot more comments started pouring in, and we just couldn't keep up with them. So we just go live and
Yep.
just to talk,
Yep.
just to say hi to our community, and maybe answer a few questions that we couldn't get to on those multiple amount of comments that
Yes.
we got.
Yes, because that's the one thing that it almost like irked me over on Embrace like 21 was like, you guys don't read the comments. I'm like, bro, we have so many all the time. It's just we have regular lives, and I'm a father and a husband. It's like the time is split differently.
Yeah,
If I'm
yeah,
just there scrolling through my phone, I'm missing valuable real life moments.
yeah.
You
And
know,
I feel like most people get that. It's just those certain individuals that you can't ever make them happy.
yeah,
But that's not who I'm talking about here. I'm talking
no,
about engaging with your community, engaging with the people that are building up your channel. That's what I'm talking about.
yeah.
And not only like maybe lives become a regular part of your channel, just like yours with the Bruin
Yeah,
Banters. Like that's a normal big part of your channel.
Yeah,
And if
that's
that's who you are, who is more, you could talk at length about a lot of things, and
and nothing.
that's your, and nothing. So that's your strength. You do that really well. Me, not so much. I find solace in, being alone.
Yeah,
So
no, and I
so
get
play
that
off.
too.
So that's the point I'm trying to make, is play to your strengths when it comes to lives. And I know some people that do gaming on theirs, and others do, like me myself. I'm a musician. Sometimes I'll do live streaming of doing acoustic songs.
Yeah, I
So
just I just read your little line under your name, Spencer. I'm sorry. I just read it. Guy on the left usually.
are you
I'm sorry,
just
man.
now
I
figuring
just
that
now
out?
figured that out. I just read. I'm just like, I just read it. That's awesome. That's awesome. Sorry. I didn't mean to throw you off. I didn't mean to throw you off. I just read I just read that. Wow.
We are
Yeah.
36 minutes into this, and you
Yeah.
just
I
now
just
saw
read
it.
that. Because I know that's your name. I was like, I know that's your name. I was like, all right, all right, all right. That's his name. And I'm like, why is it so big? Why is it taking so? I was like, oh, awesome. Cheers to you. Sorry, I didn't mean to throw off the train at all. but
Er,
uh, but like
but that's a
to
part of
your
it.
yeah to your point. Know who you are. Don't be anything other than who you are.
Yeah, yeah.
You
That's
know.
that's what the point I'm trying to make here.
But that journey to knowing who you are is a long one. You're not going to get there overnight, and you're fortunate if you find it soon. You know, it doesn't happen. You got to figure it out. You got to trial and error a lot of stuff to find your voice out there.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
for
exactly.
this channel, for this podcast, it's about the community. It's a big community based channel. It's that's our roots, is the brew and banter. Like that's our live. That's the force behind the channel. You know,
Yeah,
and the new influx of people. You know, it's very important. I say this all the time: is become part of the community, not just the channel, because you'll get notified. Make sure the notifications are on. And also, as a person that is going to be on YouTube, involve yourself in the community on YouTube too.
yeah,
Be present. Make sure you absorb others content, not
yeah,
necessarily in the reactions. I understand the reactions are, you don't want to see something and then like, oh, I'm going to get it now. Like, no, it's already used. But be plugged into different people in your zone and what you're trying to achieve.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
get to
yeah.
know,
It's
reach out, get to know, be known, be known.
mm-hmm. Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and
and
it's just you'll see the love if you spread love and good vibes.
right,
You'll
right.
get that back, and that's kind of where we are. That's where we've gotten to where we've gotten. Just not being anything other than who we are, being inviting and being hospitable.
Yeah,
Not just having a page, a reaction channel. Be more than that. Be
let yourself shine.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And if
and
if you do that with enough time and enough time in front of the camera and enough uploads, and your success is around the
mm-hmm.
corner.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, and then yeah, we've iterated that a couple times, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah,
Yeah. There's just another thing I wanted to
yeah,
touch on with the extras of a YouTube channel, is other channels that
yeah,
of your own design, and not just others in your niche, just others of your own design. And like, certainly a lot of people have come over to Arias and the Nation and Spencer Joyce Music um from the ETS community, but as a cautionary tale, I just want to tell people that not everybody's going to come over, and not everyone is going to like anything, any side project that you have. Like,
yeah,
if it's like a cooking channel or a gaming channel or something like that, not everybody is going to come over, and that's fine. That's fine. That's Those who have come over and want to come over will come over when you share it in like the description of your videos, or the community tab, or shorts, or
yeah.
whatever else. And I just wanted to put that out there real
Well,
quick.
I mean, I feel like that's a great point, because if anything, look at Mr. Beast. Look at
Uh-huh.
his main channel, which has how many millions of subscribers?
All of
Like
them.
all of them, and then look at his other side projects and
Yeah.
understand even he has an issue with spillover. He's just dealing with millions instead of hundreds or thousands or tens of thousands. You know, that spillover there is for everyone.
Yeah.
If he sees that, you're gonna see that. You know what I mean?
Basically. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just interesting, man. But I think on this little podcast that we've had, we've touched on like the ethos of what it is to possibly be just a YouTuber in general,
Yeah.
and then touched on the very niched reaction section of YouTube.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, and that's kind of where it is. Everything else is up to the individual. Like, don't just glossing over the points. Just be you. Don't do it for money. Do it
Yeah.
for bettering yourself, and be personable. Be hospitable.
Mm-hmm.
Be approachable. Be
Yeah.
normal. Be
Yeah.
not normal, but yeah,
Be
just be
you.
that. Be approachable. There you go. Be approachable.
Yeah. Yeah. Before we do that circle again, I want to touch on the technical parts
Oh yeah,
of this. Yeah.
yeah,
Um, like there are many videos on how to set up OBS, which is the thing that we use for individual reactions. In fact, when we were still together, that's what we used.
yeah,
Or Restream or StreamYard, which is what we're on currently.
yeah,
Um, but and we're not we can't really explain it in this video, but search how to set up OBS and how to set up Restream or StreamYard or anything else to record videos. And the important parts for recording a video is, having the audio levels be good. And like
yeah,
earlier you were saying like certain videos don't have the right audio issues, and I wanted to save it for this part right
yeah,
here. And I that's the main parts are having the audio levels balanced and having a semi-clear picture. It doesn't have to be 100% crystal clear, but as long as things are syncing up, your audio is synced up with what you're talking about. That's the important part.
yeah,
Reaction videos don't have to be exactly polished. It's not the highest quality of content on the internet, so I
yeah.
wouldn't worry too much about it. And people are at the end of the day, people are looking for your reaction. They're not looking for a highly polished video, and if they are, that's their fault.
Yeah, yeah, don't, yeah, 100%. I second that. I second that. And those are the steps you gradually get better as your journey progresses on YouTube. You pour into your channel. You pour
Yeah,
into your own channel, make it a better experience for everybody.
right,
You
right.
know?
Which is the point I was saying earlier. Get 1% better every single time.
Yep.
This is absolutely the area that you want to get 1% better every single time with it, and it doesn't have to be an overnight thing. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, and just know, I would say, know your limitations. You know, and it's not a bad thing to know limitations. You try to get, like you said, better every time. Like, I know that right now, if I wanted to share my screen, if I wanted to do anything, if I wanted to introduce media right now, we would lag and possibly I would drop off.
right,
I just know my system.
right, right, and
I know the limitations of what I can do.
yeah,
So
and it's good to know that. It's good
yeah.
you know your limitations of that, and absolutely.
Yeah. And that's basically what I wanted to touch on this podcast is just, hey man, this thing is still the Wild West, but we it I felt like it needed to be said. We needed to be the ones to say it, you know,
Yeah,
because there's so many freaking how to be a YouTuber videos, and it's just like it's a thumbprint to each his own. You know,
yeah,
you blaze your own path. There are people that I watch that teach people how to set this type of watch, and they have 40 million views.
yeah,
And I'm like, hey, that's your thing. That's your thing. Go for it. You know what I mean? And but I feel like it's a great journey to be on. I'm very grateful to be on this journey, to be
yeah,
able to be on this platform. And And yeah, man, I wanted us to be the ones to convey a realistic, not polished kind of, hey man, so you want to do this thing? We did this thing. We're still doing this thing. And there's so many things that we are still learning every day
Yeah.
about this platform.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel like
And
you're more
it's
plugged in.
changing all the time. And
Yep.
that's the point I wanted to say is like when we're recording this, it's July 2023. We're just saying things that we have been through ourselves,
Yep.
and everyone has a different way of going about things. I'm sure
Yep.
there's other reactors that would dispute a few things that
Oh
we've
yeah.
said,
Yeah.
but we're just talking about our own journey. And like, if this podcast is us answering the question, if someone asks, how can you do what we do? And this is a very long-winded answer on that,
Yeah, pretty
basically.
much. I feel like this video, if I could go back in time, I would. I'm wanting to make this video for myself back in time.
Yeah,
Kind of. Hey, let's break it down, Baby Bop style. Let's just what is it? What is it? How to approach it? How to approach the Everest of your mind?
right.
Just this is a good starter guide. And there's another quick point before we hop off is that don't think you can emulate someone else's approach 100% at
No,
all. At all. Everyone has valid tips and tricks. Everyone has something that has worked for them, and that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work for you.
right, right.
That's it's kind of like we took something and we made it our own. We
Yeah,
learned something and we made it our own.
yeah. And I would say don't be afraid to emulate people every now and again.
Yep.
This, there are certain things that work for a reason, and it's I don't put all your artistic eggs in this basket because of it. Like, it's okay to sometimes repeat what other people did. Like, nobody owns a certain reaction
Yeah.
style. Nobody
Yeah.
owns. I mean, the only people that own anything is but mostly the content you're reacting to.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, just don't copy. Don't be a carbon copy of a channel. Don't do that.
Right.
Don't do that. That's not a good look. But as long as you make it your own and you're actually truly interested, yeah, you'll do well. I feel like
Yeah.
eventually,
Yeah.
because people in this time of craziness, people dig and people are there for honesty.
Yeah.
It's what keeps us going. But anyway, man, this was a good kind of starter kit.
Yeah.
A hitchhiker's guide to
The
being
YouTube Reactor Galaxy.
the YouTube Reactor Galaxy. Anyway, hey Spence, thanks for jumping on with this,
Yeah.
man.
Thanks
Like,
for having me. And I'm glad that you brought me on to kind of go through what it is
yeah,
we've done
well, yeah,
in this space.
yeah, man. You're the guy I go to for my questions. You know what I mean? I don't have it all figured out, and that's
I'm
just in
happy to
life in
help.
general. so we're
Who
all learning.
does, really? Who really does?
We're all learning.
Nobody.
We're all learning. We're all trying to get better. That's just the goal as humans.
Yeah.
But
100%.
anyway,
Yeah.
guys, listen. Spencer's links to all of his stuff. Make sure you check out his channel and listen to his original music. All of his stuff is going to be not pinned, in the description below. And I'll probably even pin a comment just with your link on it. You know,
Appreciate it,
and
brother.
for those of you listening on the podcast, get on YouTube. Just period. Just get onto YouTube. just and oh my god. Anyway, guys, much love. Make sure you unplug and do something legendary. And I will see you guys in the next video. Later, man.
Cheers, y'all.